Hey guys, so I'm going to try to be doing these weekly recaps each at the end of each week. None of you probably even watch this or care really enough to comment, but I like it, so I'm going to keep doing it. So let's get it started. We're starting to get to the point where the good teams are slowly pulling away from the not so good teams. So let's start with Gilbert versus Taylor. Gilbert seeking his first win of the season against Taylor's team, who's a little shaken up. Maybe this was his week. Didn't have no Adrian Peterson for Taylor. Cam Newton was a little shaken up, keeps getting hit repeatedly without any help from the refs. But Cam still had 15 points even after a concussion, being knocked out with a concussion. The Broncos D did what everyone thought they were going to do and stomped on the Bucks. And it didn't really matter what the rest of Taylor's team did, because for Gilbert, Drew Brees and Antonio Brown combined for 30 of his total 49 points. So Taylor improves to 2-1-1, and Gilbert is still in search for that first win. Next we have Team Tanner versus Dez Nuts. Got him. Close matchup between Logan and Billy. Both their teams' QBs had an early game in London and both put up decent numbers, but it was the rest of their teams that really helped out. Julio Jones, of course, having one of the greatest games as a receiver since Megatron broke 300 yards back in 2012. Ingram also could have had a remarkable game if it weren't for John Kuhn, who stole 3 goal line touchdowns from him, so that's unfortunate for Ingram owners. For Logan, Jordan Reed finally went off and showed that he really was worthy of being picked as the second overall tight end. But Billy started the Chiefs D, which has not been my first choice, especially with Le'Veon Bell coming back. Billy, I know you're kind of a Chiefs fan, but hey, you got to be smarter than that. Speaking of what I know I lost this week by a stat correction after finishing Monday night tied against Danielle. Originally, Duke Johnson had an extra rush for 8 yards, but that was changed, and it was actually Isaiah Crowell who had that, so I gave Danielle an extra point today, and she pulled off the 91-92 win over me. Danielle put up the good win even in the absence of Jordy Nelson and essentially Gronk, who only put up 1 point. But Jordan Howard showed he was worthy of filling in for Jeremy Langford, and Russell Wilson still put up 24 points even with a sprained MCL. So Danielle improves to 3-1, and I'm sitting at 2-2. Tom Brady getting another win this week, defeating Turbo Tits 78-67. Alejandro's team is looking really good, especially at the running game. He's got Zeke, he's got Carlos Hyde, he's got C.J. Anderson, all who are potentially RB1 candidates. So yeah, the run game is definitely helping out, and it'll continue to help him get these wins if they stay healthy. Maybe if Tim knew that Julius Thomas was ruled out for the game at 6 a.m., he could have switched him out for Hunter Henry, and it could have been a whole different outcome. Tim could have pulled off the win. Hunter Henry could have given him the 12 extra points he needed. But Tim failed to take out Thomas, so winds up 1-3. Good news for Tim, though, is Tom Brady's back. He's got that Julian Edelman-Tom Brady combination he could essentially have. But another great matchup this week was Dak to the Future and versus Team Connors, Andrew versus Devin. Devin had 2 players on. Devin had 2 players on her team that had negative points, but that didn't really matter and didn't really ruin the turn of Le'Veon Bell, who played just as well as everyone expected, and not to mention the 173 yards by A.J. Green. A lot of us thought that Andrew had the nastiest wide receiver trio in OBJ, DeAndre Hopkins, and Brandon Cooks. But with only 2 of them in his starting lineup, OBJ and DeAndre Hopkins put up just 2 points. So Alejandro, Danielle, and Devin improved to 3-1. Logan, followed by Logan and Taylor, were 2-1-1. Me and Andrew at 2-2. Billy and Tim stand at 1-3. And poor old Gilbert sits alone at the bottom of the standings, 0-4. So next week, we have Taylor versus Adam, Tim versus Billy, Devin versus Alejandro, Gilbert versus Logan, and Danielle versus Andrew. So good luck, and I'm still open for trades. Send me some offers.